Okay.
And guard that they stay in M23, they presumably the demons descend from heaven, terrifying the 200 demons who take human form and hide among human beings and set a watch over them. They seize the giants from the demons and lead them, the children of the giants, to safety. In 32 distant towns prepared for them by the living spirit at Aryan Weezen, the traditional homeland of the Indo-Iranian, in the vicinity of the sacred Mount Sumeru and other mountains. These people originated the arts of the demons fight a massive and fiery battle. Which does battle, accompanied by watchers and giants, and 3 of the giants are killed. An angel and others are also killed. Oyach and Ayach resolve to keep their promise to do battle, and they boast of their prowess. 4 angels, by divine command, bind the Igrigori with everlasting chains in a dark prison, and annihilate their children. Even before the rebellion of the Igrigori, this prison had been built for them under the mountains. In addition, 36 towns had been prepared for the habitation of the wicked and long-lived sons of the giants before they were born. Oyah, or Aya, the primordial monster, Leviathan, and the archangel Raphael engage in a great battle, and they vanished.
Will you invite?
To one tradition. Oyah survived the flood and fought this battle after it. 3,280 years passed between the time of Enoch and the time of King Vishtas, who ruled at the time of the prophet Zoroaster, who, along with Buddha and Christ, was an apostle who came before the
chocolate?
apostle man.
She wants one?
There's a couple interesting things I wanted to mention there. That,
What?
when they talk about their taken from the fire, they just endure the burning, and Enoch the sage is mentioned. Now that ties into what we've been talking about recently, or in some things that I saw that again that Zen Garcia was talking about in his amazing stuff he's tied up. And what he was talking about there is that the righteous actually, in between this period and
What is it? The base?
Christ
For a
comes
plant?
back to Earth, or coming to Earth for the first time,
Oh yeah, it was nice.
Savior, that the righteous had to endure that time period in hell because they had no Savior.
It is Brandon.
And take them from Sheol. And that is what happens in the Chronicles of Longinus. And so, go and check out that work. I posted it. It's part of this playlist. It's been part of the playlist that this will be part of. So, you can see it there, or go to Zen's work at
D3.
and check out the Chronicles of Longinus. And you'll see what I'm talking about there. And after that, we also, the other thing I wanted to notice is that for some reason this person believes that the final apostle was Mani, or Mani. An effort to nuance this version is given after the summary. So A1. The angelic watchers beget the Nephilim and the giants, perhaps the same creatures, but perhaps not, through miscegenation with mortal women.
It is me,
These
D3.
vicious monsters inflict bloodshed and injustice upon the earth and destruction upon the sea, animals, plants, cattle, and humanity. All this is reported to Enoch, the scribe of interpretation. Enoch addresses God, praising him for his glory, knowledge, strength, and creative acts. A number of giants, including Gobabis, Humbaba, Mahoe, and perhaps the watcher Barak El, have a conversation in which they discuss killing, perhaps of human beings. Following hints from the Manichaean version and the Midrash of Samyaza, perhaps we should reconstruct here an episode in which the giants have a first pair of dreams predicting the Great Flood. If so, the first dream seems to involve the effacing of a writing tablet by submerging it in water. Stuckenbrook also suggests that a fragment which refers to 3 shoots in a garden belongs to the second parable. The first dream may have told of an angel doing the effacing as a symbol of the destruction wrought by the flood. The second may have told of an angel descending and cutting down all but 3 shoots, representing the sons of Noah in the garden. Mahoe consults
Will
Enoch.
you invite me?
It is possible
No,
that the
I
first
feel like
tablet
building right
was
now,
introduced
Brandon.
at this point.
You can watch, I
So
don't
they're
care.
entirely lost, but their existence is reproduced by little references to God. The giants Oya and Mahoe have a conversation in which Mahoe tells Oya something he heard while in the presence of his, Mahoe's father, the Watcher Barakel. Oya responds that he too has heard of 4 marvels, and he starts to make a comparison which pertains to a woman giving birth. There is a conversation among the giants in which one of them admits that, despite his own might, he has been unable to prevail in war against some heavenly beings, presumably the archangels. Oya mentions an impressive dream which has disturbed him, and someone tells the giant Gilgamesh to recount his dream as well. Oya says something to his brother Haya, but the Watchers and the giant. In another fragment that may continue this speech, one of the giants resigns himself that there is no escape and that he and the others must die for their misdeeds. He refers to a vision that appears from sleep. Someone enters the assembly of the giants. Perhaps a conversation continues in which the giants anticipate with dread their coming destruction in the flood for their sins, in which they will be stripped of their form and reduced to being evil spirits. The Watchers tell the giants that they themselves are
Okay, emoji crying face.
defeated.
Brandon, dude.
Mahoe and the 2 tablets are mentioned. The second tablet is now read. It is a letter from Enoch to the Watcher Sanyaza and his companions, and they are rebuked for their and their sons, the giants' corrupt acts, which have come to the attention of the Archangel Raphael. They are warned of imminent destruction in order to release their hostages and to pray. Nevertheless, Oya informs them of Babas, which involves the cursing of the princes and which cheers the giants up. The 2 giants, Oya and Haya, have dreams. Haya describes his in the assembly of the giants. He dreamed of gardeners watering a garden which produced great shoots, but a disaster of some sort destroyed the garden in a deluge of water and fire. The other giants are unable to interpret his dream. Haya proposes that they consult Enoch for interpretation. Then his brother Oya reports that he too had a dream, in which God descended to the earth. Thrones were set up, and God sat enthroned amid a multitude of angels and presided over a judgment based on the opening of certain books. The giants, presumably unable to interpret this dream either, summon Mahoe and send him to Enoch, whom he has encountered before, to ask him to interpret the dreams. Mahoe takes wing and flies across the great desert until Enoch sees him and calls him. Mahoe refers to this as his second visit and makes a request. Bits of Enoch's interpretation may survive in a fragment that mentions the violent deaths of a number of Watchers, Nephilim, and Giants, and also in a small fragment that says, "No peace to you." Enoch pronounces an eschatological or post-diluvian blessing of earthly prosperity. Presumably, much of the story came after this point and is now lost. Reconstruction of the Aramaic Book of Giants remains extremely subjective, but a number of objective factors limit the possible arrangements and point us in certain directions. The most important external factor is the assured sequence of fragments in some of the manuscripts based on physical joints. So we see that they're having problems with putting these things together and seeing how clearly they line up. A third factor is the internal evidence of the fragments themselves. Stuckenbrook, building on Garcia Martinez's comments, allows for passages that pertain to the early part of the Watchers Giants narrative when the Giants are free agents, after they, or better the Watchers, have been imprisoned. He also points to the reference to 2 tablets in A10, with the second tablet being read later than the first, and to Mahoe's second visit to Enoch in A13. In both cases, earlier lost portions are hinted at. The biggest difference between Stuckenbrook's sequencing and those of some other commentators is that he reconstructs 2 pairs of 2 dreams. Bayer, Reeves, and Garcia Martinez grouped fragments pertaining to dreams into one episode. Cook, however, does reconstruct multiple dream episodes, although not in precisely the same order as Struckenbrook. And Puek accepts the necessity of an earlier pair of dreams, although he does not accept that the material assigned to the second dream by Stuckenbrook in A5 belongs there. He puts it correctly in my view in the first dream. So we see that they're fighting over how these reconstructions go together. And we see that the founder of the Manichaean religion was the Apostle Mani in 216 to 76 CE, who was raised in southern Mesopotamia in a Jewish Christian Baptist sect called the Elkasites. From age 12 on, Mani began to have visions. Eventually, his visionary experiences led to his being expelled from the sect, and he then founded his own religion, sending out missions to Iran, India, Syria, and Egypt. Late in his life, he fell out of royal favor and was sent to prison, where he died. He wrote detailed scriptures so that his doctrines would be preserved forever, even going so far as to invent a new script to write them. But over time, nearly all of these scriptures have been lost. This makes it very difficult to reconstruct his original theology. We know that he drew on other world religions to interpret himself as the culminating revelatory intermediary for Christianity, Zoroastrianism, and Buddhism. We also know that the Manichaean religion taught an extremely complicated system, Gnostic dualism, centered around a cosmological myth about the war between the originally pristine realms of light and darkness. The physical universe was created as a trick to liberate the captive sparks of light in living beings from the realm of darkness. There were two classes of practicing Manichaeans: the elect, who lived ascetic, monastic lifestyles of celibacy, vegan, vegetarianism, etc., and the hearers, who supported the elect financially and otherwise in the hope of being reincarnated themselves as elect in due course. Although most of Mani's scriptures are themselves lost, lists of the titles of these documents survive in works by both friendly and hostile writers who wrote in Coptic, Greek, Arabic, and even Chinese. Allowing for minor corruptions, all the lists mention the same 7 works, usually in more or less the same order. These are the Gospel, the Treasure of Life, the Pragmatia, the Treaties, the Book of Mysteries, the Book of Giants, the Epistles, and the Psalms. For our immediate purposes, the only one of interest is the Book of Giants, the work apparently composed in Syriac, an Eastern dialect of Aramaic, and the book was entirely lost until the 20th century, but scant references to it survived in Latin, Greek, and Arabic, indicating that it involved battles of the ancient giants. Then about a century ago, many highly fragmentary Manichaean works written in Central Asian languages were recovered archaeologically at Turpan in China, and much of the find remains unpublished even at present. Should we read that again? Then about 100 years ago, many fragmentary Manichaean works written in Central Asian languages were recovered at Turpan in China, and much of the find remains unpublished. Among the published fragments are many badly eroded manuscripts of the Book of Giants in various languages. So we see again, I found this very clearly. We probably have a very clear, good book of it, and we are not doing a translation. The Manichaean versions adapted the story of the giants to fit Iranian mythology. Schiavo discusses these adaptations at length, and 3 of the most striking adjustments have to do with the names of the major characters. Sam, or Sam, is the name of the immortal dragon slayer in later Iranian epic. His name is given to the giant Ohya, and Ohya's brother Hahya is given the name Narama, who in Iranian epic is a figure closely connected to Sam, either identified with him or presented as one of his close relatives. The name of the father of the giant Mahoe, the demon Barogdad, means given by lightning in Persian, a loose translation of Barak El, which is Hebrew for lightning of God. The watcher Barak El seems to be the father of Mahoe in the Aramaic. Mani's Book of Giants and the stories of the giants related in the Enoch literature and in Jubilees, these were already good indicators of Mani's use of earlier Jewish traditions, a use confirmed by the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1947. These consisted of many hundreds of parchment and papyrus manuscripts in Hebrew and Aramaic. with a few also in Greek, most of which had rotted away into tens of thousands of fragments. Fragments survived as some of the Enoch books in Aramaic, and also the Book of Jubilees in Hebrew. J.T. Millick has also discovered roughly 6 to 10 extremely poorly preserved manuscripts of an Aramaic Book of Giants, apparently the document used by Manny as the basis for his scriptural work. These manuscripts give no indication of being sectarian compositions. Their paleographic dates roughly across the 1st century BCE, so presumably the book was composed before this, although how long before remains open to question. The kernel of the same story appears in the Bible in Genesis 6:1-4, but as with the Book of the Watchers, it remains debatable whether the traditions about the Watchers and Giants are creative expansion.
When this family came to the United States to escape the violence in their own country, they never imagined that they would lose their son in the most horrible way. This is a disturbing case of teens that committed machine murder, but what they did afterward.
Wrath on you. But I found a secret place in the earth, and hid from the burning light of the sun. Deep in the earth I slept.
Give me some time to think. I'm in the bathroom looking at me. Facing the mirror is all I need.
Okay, this is the inside of CERN. I'm continuing on from the video. It's a little woodpecker. Acting up.
I need a pack of condoms. Put it down.
Feel the daylight on our skin. We are young, we feel everything. It's starting to begin. Hear the words we were meant to sing. Close my eyes, I feel where we are, where we are. We can run.
Yo. Sick.
What you know deep when your brain in the deep when your brain goes numb, you can go down to
What? Damn it, that's hot. Hot as fuck. Fucking hot.
Killer. I don't know how this song is not copyrighted.
We've got a lot of faith. Yeah, I think I'd like to be murdered and slaughtered and butchered and tortured by someone who has a lot of faith. That would be really comforting.
Hi, Brand. Dr. Wienerful
And I'm
here.
not upside down here.
Hey, what's up, Dr. Wienerful? Just drinking hot chocolate.
And so what they'll
Fortnite and hot
have you
cocoa.
do is they'll indoctrinate us with globes in our kindergartens and in our primary and secondary and tertiary education.
How you doing, Dr.
Globe
Wiener?
everywhere. And no one has ever provided
Thanks for checking in on me.
evidence that we live on a globe, and in fact every single thing that they do
That's what's up.
provide in terms of so-called evidence is hocus, ridiculous buffoonery. And it can be silenced with just short little sentences. You live on a flat plane, and everything is absolutely.
Can you play as Goku yet?
The universe works this way.
Yeah, you
So
can,
this relativism
but I don't have
is,
any V-Bucks.
the Darwinian
I don't even have a battle pass.
Aristotelian there was materialist speculative philosophy have no connection to natural science science. And so you transitive scientists like Pythagoras and Plato, they get silenced. And how they did it was trying to shut down the Thomas in the 6th century. Justin the Emperor, the criminal, so that the Aristotelian theory
Still wet.
can overtake the world, and the world has gone after Aristotle and his moronic, materialistic teachings like Darwin and Newton and Einstein, and all these will go down in history once they're revealed as buffoons. They played the part of buffoons perfectly. They are
Lay down.
imbued in
Up.
worldly wisdom, which is
Lay down, babies.
foolishness in the eyes of the Creator, and they give glory to themselves. These are glory seekers.
I know you.
They don't give glory to the Creator. They don't care to. They want
Okay, let me
glory for
play.
themselves, and that glory will be removed from them, and they will be put to shame. They'll be written. Their names will be written
Lie down.
with shame. For all
Up.
eternity.
Look up on the bed.
Disgraceful harm that they've done to humanity, teaching such ridiculous stupidity.
I gotta stream, dude. Fuck.
And
God damn it,
it's funny
dude.
that my body is
Lay down.
being sucked at this 1,000-mile-an-hour spinning ball, hurtling through space at 1,000-mile-an-hour. Grim stupidity. Go after this madness. And yet, little butterflies will flutter by and just not pay any attention to gravity. It's me sucked to the earth. And so, but we've all been sucked in by it. We've all been drawn in by the lies, because the bigger you tell them, the harder people fall. So, so my purpose in life is to, bust all the fictions, as I call it. I use an Australian colloquialism, and to deflate this Humpty Dumpty globe and Santa Ball buffoonery, and bring back the ancient times. And all the scriptures concur with the geocentric model. The Bible is complete with flat Earth truth. In fact, if you'd like to, I can share you some of those scriptures with you.
Absolutely, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, great. Well, Psalm 24:2. For he has founded it on the seas, and it flood. So it's known that the Earth, the terrestrial part of planet Earth, is sitting on waters. I mean, even the erroneous ball model teaches that. Psalm 33:9. So he spoke and it was done. He commanded and it stood fast. That's the earth. In other words, it doesn't move. It stands fast. Psalm 104:5. He established the earth upon its foundation, so that it will not totter forever and ever. So the foundations of earth are founded firmly, and it will not move or totter forever and ever. Here's another one. He stretches out the north over the empty place and hangs the earth on nothing, because the earth is hanging in a torus field. And see all of these torus
systems all around the universe are hanging upon nothing. And this is in the book of Job 26:7, Job 28:4-7, where we First Samuel 2:8, he raises the poor from the dust and lifts the needy from the ash heap. He seats them with princes and has them inherit the throne of honour. For the foundations of the earth are the Lord's. On them he has set the world. Psalm 19:4, the heavens declare the glory of God. There is no speech, nor are there words. Their voice is not heard. Their line has gone out to all the earth. Their utterances end of the world, indicating a flat plane. In them he has
Earth is flat.
for the sun.
Welcome to Flat Earth,
which
guys.
is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber. It rejoices as a strong man to run its course. I've explained all this. This is a tent or a tabernacle. It's a vortex coil type of tent-like structure, like a secret, and the sun circling around above the earth plane in the tropical and it actually contracts as it goes up to the top of the Cancer, and then once it reaches there, it expands.
Go Brandon.
It goes down
Go Brandon. It's your birthday.
again.
Go Brandon.
And this is the motion of the sun. Here is also some particular evidence of a knowledge of a flat earth. Theophilus of Antioch in the 2nd century said, "The
Where you
heavens,
was
therefore,
where you
being
was
like a
at when I was
dome-shaped
playing
covering,
Fortnite."
comprehended the matter which was like a clod." So there you go again, speaking about this wonderful vault or firmament above the earth. And here is another, that was Theophilus of Antioch. Here is Rubaiyat of Omar. He said, "And that inverted bowl we call the sky, where under crawling coop we live and die, lift not thy hands to it for help, for it rolls impotently on as though for eye." So, again, the Sumerians said the boundary between the primary sea and the earth was a solid place with just like the stars, planets, sun and moon were embedded in solid space. So this concurs with all the evidence about that the stars are actually embedded in a vault-like firmament above our head, only a few thousand miles up. And this is why the constellations of the sky do not change shape, and there's no parallax observed.
Meet the new Google Pixel 6a, the more affordable Google phone that adapts to you.
Its great oceans forming the clouds and air currents which warm and irrigate the planet.
I thought I was better than people because I knew so much about space. And every now and then I'd watch all that shit and wonder, this is all cartoons.
And features for your brand new iPhone SE 2020. So let's dive in and discover.
So the very first thing I want to talk about has to do with the control center. So the control center, you have to pull up from the bottom just like this.
I have an iPhone
and
SE.
basically, this entire area here is customizable, and also all the single buttons are also interactable. For example, here's the brightness slider. You can slide up and down or press and hold. It's going to expand and give you further options, also further toggle. And if I press and hold the volume button, again, it's going to expand, give you further options. If you have earphones connected to your phone, you're going to see even more options at the bottom here. And again, just an example, here's a flashlight. If I press and hold it, it's going to expand. I can turn it on and even increase the brightness. You cannot see it because it's in the back. much security. So basically, the way of
my hand, but when you go ahead and turn the lights off, you can still see everything in the dark. I mean, how insane? I turned off every single light in my studio. It was pretty much pitch dark, and I was still able to see exactly what was going on. This, as you can imagine, can be so useful in a number of different situations.
So much bitch!
People use this as a lifetime baby monitor. Regardless of whatever you use this application for, it works.
Hi everyone, and today we have the iPhone SE 2022 version. We have the 256GB model, and here as you can see, right there. And as you can see down here, it is the iPhone SE. We got it early, thanks again Apple. And this one obviously runs the same chip as the iPhone 13, the A15 Bionic chip. And this thing is really small, so this is like kind of, it can barely fit the size of my hand. And we have the iPhone 13 mini over here, which is slightly smaller than the iPhone SE. As you can see down here, the S is a little longer and a little wider as well compared to the 13 mini. And we have the 13 Pro here as well, just so you guys can see the difference. So 13 Pro and the iPhone SE. Yeah, the 13 Pro is obviously a lot bigger. Like, definitely. So with all these games, Claire will be playing Genshin because I'm quite weak sauce. I haven't reached Inazuma yet. So she'll be playing that and I'll be playing the rest. So let's just jump into the game.
Hi, it's Claire. Today we are here with the iPhone SE 2022 and I'll be playing Genshin. But first, let's check the temperature of the iPhone. Okay, so we're starting with 26.7 degrees Celsius. Let's enter Genshin.
Play free map. Those fake ads really drive you mad, huh? The game looks so fun in the ads, but when you download it, it's a totally different game. That's crazy, right? But today, I finally found a game that is exactly the same as it's shown in the ads. You don't believe me? Alright, let me show you. I want this.
roads we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, from the shadows to the sun rays. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways. And on.
Please don't fuck it up. Come on.
Xbox Series S lets you play all the latest games with super fast loading times thanks to an SSD at an affordable price point, but on top of that, being an all-digital system makes it the perfect combo.
Today I decided to build the Hawkins set from Stranger Things, and this is how it went. First I picked out all the props I thought I'd need. I decided to use this piece from the primitive gallery, shrunk down and in beige, for most of the accents and pillars in the build.
You know, I'd be willing to bet that there...
I'm going to show you 5 unique tips and tricks to help take your building in Fortnite Creative to the next level. Ever since the release of the water device, we've been trying to get some really realistic floods in Creative, but because it's a square barrier, it's really hard to make it look realistic. You've kind of got a square cube of water that's raising up. But if you make anything that's circular or has a bit of a slope going up it, it makes the flood so much more realistic, so water has to travel up the slope as well, and it gives it a bit of a curve so it's not just a square. So doing this really helps to make the flood more realistic. I'm just going to pop in game and I'll show you how it looks. But the water sort of slopes up the side, it gives it that much more of a curve, makes it a bit more realistic. And it just doesn't look as square, so when you do that you can see the water actually travels up, but it also goes outwards at the same time, making the floods look that much more realistic. Now this next tip is something that people don't really do that often.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ghostbusters here. Welcome to the YouTube video. If anyone can please help me with this, since I literally have no idea what's going on here. So apparently you're supposed to search 3 bags inside of your Fortnite.
Today we're going to look at the newest device in Fortnite, the player tracker. We're going to look at things that you can create, such as player rankings, mini games, and so much more, and what the intended purpose of the service actually is. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Alright, starting with the basics, you can find the player tracker obviously in the creative and device category. This is the latest and newest added device, so it will be in the first row. This will probably change in the future. So in the future you can probably put it under the players tab. Right now it is not in any category, but if it gets moved in the future it will probably move down to the player category. Also very important, before we go into the settings, this device also has an inventory, which is essential for this device. You can just go here and bring up to 2 items into this thing. So for example, we're going to drop gold coins and a shotgun in here. And you can see now both of these items are in this device and can be used with this device. The device can be customized with an icon, a special name, obviously the items that you put into this device, and also a health and shield bar. You can also show how far a player is away that is equipped with this device. Now if the player picks up the items that we beforehand put into the device, you can see that the numbers on the screen will also go up according to whatever number of items the player is going to pick up. So in this case 500 gold and 1 shotgun. So the whole purpose of this device is not to actually send out signals if a limit or a numbers reach for these items that we put in. You can all do that obviously in the settings, and you have different kind of controls. You can set to different kind of settings, for example equal or pure, so it has to be at least 1 or 0 to actually trigger something. You can also do the same thing with the second item. You have 4 different settings to sending signals to something else. You have first item value reached, you have second item value reached, and obviously first item and second item amount change. That basically means if anything changes in the player's inventory that has these 2 items that are equipped, there's going to be a signal sent. And with the signal sent, you can also send that to, for example, ending a game, or reaching a certain level, or basically just progressing in your tracker. So that means that the player marker works actually really well in combination with the tracker, because if you you can now use the item player marker to trigger in your tracker, and this is how it could actually look in combination. So we have the player tracker, which are custom settings, right? Everything here that is completely on you, it doesn't really matter. We have the main gold collector. Now the important part comes down here. We have our first item triggered equal to 500. This is our gold. So we need 500 gold to trigger the first time. And for the second item, which is a shotgun, we have equal to 1. So we need 500 gold and 1 shotgun to send signals. And on the channels, we obviously have when first item value reached, send out channel 1, and for second item, we want to use the same channels. So now we can move to the tracker, and in here it's even easier. All we need to do is set this to channels, obviously. We set the target value to 2, because we obviously have 2 quests in our player marker. Then we can name it custom. We have gold collector, collect 500 gold, and then we only need this 1 channel for increment progress when receiving from. So we need 2 signals sent, which is obviously completing our 2 quests on our device, and then the tracker is going to be completed, and then we basically completed the quest. So this is now how you will look for other players. Obviously you cannot see this for yourself, but as you can see, if we now pick up this 500 gold, so now you can see that we have 1 of 2 challenges completed, which then obviously was the first signal, and now if we pick up the shotgun, we complete the second one, and we completed the quest in the tracker. It is that simple and super easy to set up, and you can go even crazier with that. Very interesting that you can do is obviously just use the aesthetics of this device. Masterplay did a really good stuff, and I'll definitely show you the link in the description, where you basically use the icons and the ability to track players in the mini map and outside of the menu, obviously, to create a mini game. And he has a full tutorial on how he created that on his channel, so definitely highly recommend checking that out. However, the other thing which a lot of people ask me about is the ranking system. Creating a level system is actually fairly easy, and you can even save the levels if you use the right systems. Okay, I quickly want to show you guys how you can create the most basic level system that you can create. Obviously, you need the player marker for this one. And the player marker in this case is really just the visuals. So for example, I have the show icon level 1, you can go up to 9, you can always, which again is a super basic system, and and this signal should be the same one as the one in the list, and you can go really free with this. So there's one last thing which I have to say again, which even was in the patch notes, that you have to change the setting in your island settings to make sure that everybody can actually see the level or the display, whatever, on top of the players. And it is the always show nameplates. You have to set that to always show to all. By default, this is to team, so basically only teammates will see this for you. But if you want everybody to see it, make sure that it's...
Guys, I used to think all those buzzwords are fake, but today I finally found...
Hey guys, it's out with the Bony Burbs prop gallery, where there's some amazing props for you to utilize in some of your maps. Let's start out with this movable windmill, which we don't have a lot of props like this in Fortnite Creative. If we just place a few other props around this movable windmill, you can create a scene in about 15 seconds, which is amazing. Any other prop that moves inside Fortnite Creative...
I'm Jackus. If you didn't know, we're story-driven battle royale game. Risky Wheels finally got destroyed, though the one location in Snapshots that had the same name as a Fortnite location finally got its name changed, as it was sort of destroyed quite a lot actually. This place was proper. So I just incorporated some of the modular stuff here, and Cova Cave is still here. Sword Spite, Crystal Castle being fine, as you'll see. Coral Cove happened. Snapshots. Why am I doing that? Yeah. So, yeah. Alright, now heading up to the big place. Or the big change, I should say. There's been a significant change. Over at Disco Docks, which is now Order Outpost, as it's now the main base of operations for the evil faction of the island, the Order. They were in control from seasons 1 through 4, and as you can see, they've got the great big destroyer, which is the sort of main threat in the Fallen Ring finale. So yeah, so I believe that's about it for season 4, so let's jump straight into season 5. Oh good lord, this is taking so long to load, but season 5 is the last season of this map of Snapshots, and yeah, so it's pretty chaotic. Just prepare for what you're about to see. Yeah, an absolutely massive snow biome called the Pure Frost biome was added in this season. This is the only other biome to be added to this map besides the jungle, which was added in season 3. So yeah, we've got this huge snow biome, the Genesis, right north of the Genesis core, which is protected by the core and then the ring, sort of suspended in the sky, slowly destabilizing as these parts from the ring and the Fallen Ring finale sort of float around it. So yeah, there's a lot of little Easter eggs just hiding around here, like just random objects like the slope sign from Sloping Steps, just random telephone poles, or parts of like a Crystal Castle, despite Crystal Castle being fine, as you'll see. Vehicles from the game's history, overship parts. You can see Batter Barn is still dead. I think that's overship debris as well. We've got bus parts, we've got police cars, gas stations, random houses, as well. There's another one. Oh no, the other one was removed. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with how the snow biome turned out. It's a very unorthodox snow biome, but I'm pretty happy with it. Like, I like how I use these iceberg pieces to replace the hills in the snow biome, making them sort of solid. So firstly, Fallen Ring finale, there's some debris here. The Bash Blimp in the finale, the Big Rig, aka Truckosaurus, just like completely destroys the Order's main blimp, and it crashes into the ground here, which carries over to Season 5, although it is now surrounded by snow. Then we've got Neo Timber, which is the original Timber Towers back, and better than ever because it was all neofied. Everything's increased in height. For example, MacGuffin's is now 3 stories. The Noms is now Megamore, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 stories, because each of these is 2 things. Pizza Pit has been changed to 4 stories. It's absolutely huge. Gas station is just a gas station. Yeah, tacos, it's just tacos. Double Plump is here as well. Big Shots is still here. And this little place literally remains unchanged, pretty much. It's a random little building. We've also got, this is the sort of slipstream hub. There are slipstreams going all around the islands, as you can see. They sort of follow this path up past the desert, through Caddy Cove, around above Rifty Wheels, through Disco Drill, and then through the jungle, down past Bamboo Bay and the cave, and then back to Neo Timber. Onto Flora Foss.
I bet you 99% of people won't be able to beat me at the game Top War. Okay, guys.
Onto Flora Frost. There we go. Yeah, this is just a lovely little winter forest biome, you know. I didn't want to go too crazy. It's literally just a small forest. Basically just Flora Forest, but a little bit less hilly. Although there is still definitely some height elevation changes around, and then just a lot of debris from when it was Wasted Woods and there's the war. Also, Big Rig was here for a while in the finale, so there's a lot of debris from that, like missiles and footsteps and stuff. So yeah, just cool stuff in general, not like too crazy, but it's just a nice little POI. Over here we've got Bamboo Bay. Yeah, it's Retail Road, but well, it's got this different terrain from Chapter 1. It's got the mall is pretty much unchanged. It's just ripped in half, and then there's like Lucky Landing, sort of Japanese style or Chinese style buildings. Only some of the buildings, some of them didn't make the jump. I just thought it was a cool change. There's not actually any bamboo for some reason. It's just cherry trees, but I thought it was cool. I'm happy with how it turned out. Overall. Could have been better, could have been worse. Coming up here we have Vibe and Verge, which replaces Tumble Temple. This location was pretty much added for the summer event, No Sweat Summer. That event was named before Fortnite did their event, for the record. It's like several weeks before. I had people calling me out for that, and I'm like, I did it first. So, yeah. So yeah, it's just a nice little beachside cove. I don't know, there's not really much of note, although for those of you who have watched my Councilwood Maps video, yeah, that's weird. For some reason, that just put me into like a free fall there. That was weird. But yeah, for those of you who watched my Councilwood Maps video, you'll probably recognise some of these assets. A lot of like this, for example, this pier is taken directly from my cancelled or on hiatus invasion gun game map. And also this season is called Inversion, so that's just a coincidence, but yeah, I thought that's cool. There is still some parts of Temple there's these little tributes around. I think there's 4 of them just scattered around, so there's a 3rd one there, and there's a 4th one there. So yeah, just a nice little summer place, you know. Up by Slanty Steps, we've got the Big Rig, who's just chilling after destroying the Destroyer. It is now called the Destroyer, ironically. We're just chilling here with the Disco Drill. The Disco Drill was sort of a secret map change. It was the Underground's like mega drill that inevitably caused the volcano, and also, I believe, contributed to the eruption near the end of Season 3. It was, you could see this part of the drill sort of sticking up in the water like this, all the way from the start of Season 3 up through the Fallen Ring finale, like post-event update, and then finally it emerged here in Season 5, replacing the Order's base of operations. I just thought it would be a cool subversion, as this season is all about just changing the map. Up here we've got Rifty Reels, which uses these lovely mushroom pieces. It's a small change, it's basically just Rifty Reels again, but looking different, and with tons of these rifts. Crystal Castle remains unchanged, it's just Crystal Castle, although there is waterfalls now since there is the waterfall gallery. Everything here is unchanged. Then we've got Caddy Cove. For all 4 post-launch updates for Season 5, a new inversion point was added, which have these inversion bubbles, which are basically my version of Rift Zones. And this was the version 5.30, so this is the 3rd one added. This is a mix of Caddy Course, obviously, and what's it called? Sorry, Coral Cove from Season 2. Now this was actually foreshadowed, as the Durburger was half converted into a sort of pirate camp at the very start of Season 5, but now it is completely there, and the Durburger is just gone. The pirate ship wreckage is actually taken over by these pirate bears who could be farmed at the Durburger at the start of Season 5, and just all the buildings have been changed to these cool pirate camps. I thought it was a cool thing. It's not really too exciting. There's also volcano events here, which are only found here and in the jungle. So yeah, that's just something to make it a bit unique, you know? It's cool. Going down to the desert, we've got Western Wilds, a lovely little western town inspired by Epic Zone Tilted Town. And yeah, that's really about all it is. It's just a nice little town that replaces Smash Sanctuary. There is some wreckage here. Across the map, most of the wreckage sort of remains. But unlike, say, the Blimp, a lot of the actual rubble is gone. It's literally just the wreckage on its own. Like over here or over here, you can see the area is pretty much undamaged, apart from the footsteps from Big Rig, but the debris is still there. Okay, heading over to the first inversion point added. This is Frosty Farm. This is the return of Fatal Farm from Season 1, the first ever POI to be removed from the map, as it was replaced by Rocky Ridge in Season 2. But now it's all frozen over, sort of matching the snow biome. These rifts, this invasion beacon, it's just a cool little place. I like it. And also, this is when the item place was added, so you can pick up these snowballs off the ground, or you can shoot them to sort of make them drop, and they are chili griffins. So yeah, that's cool. Over here, the Combine is destroyed. It was destroyed just as a part of Season 5 happening, not as part of any event. I think it just sort of happened. Okay, and finally, both the 2nd and 4th inversion point, Nomi Grove. So this was originally where the 2nd inversion point was, which was the Snapshots crossover with X Royale Reloaded by Empire, which was Honey Hills, and then in the final update of Season 5 it got replaced with Nomi Grove, an original POI. This POI is actually very unique, as it's basically a bunch of remakes of houses and just locations from Battle Royale that we never got in creative, that I made before Snapshots was even released. When Snapshots was in development, I made them. So here they are, Nomi Grove. We've got this house, which I believe comes from, I want to say Pleasant Park from Chapter 1, or possibly from Salty Springs of Chapter 1. This house definitely comes from Pleasant Park of Chapter 1. This lovely yellow house comes from Pleasant Park of Chapter 2. This green, very tall house comes from Holly Hedges of Chapter 2. Okay, so I've just discovered that I accidentally finished the recording early and therefore did not capture the final couple of minutes, and I'm not very happy about it, but that's okay, we're back. And I'm just going to finish the recording now. So yeah, that was Nomi Grove. That was, yeah, that is the Season 5 map. Season 4 and 5, I mean, even 3 actually changed the map in drastic ways. Perhaps a little too much at points, but I think I'm really happy with the evolution of this map. From Season 1, a very primitive map with a lot to be left to be desired, to Season 5, which is really solid overall, I believe. Very crazy, but very good overall, and something that I'm very proud of overall. So I just want to thank you guys so much for the support on Snapshots, on every season. Every season's been bigger than the last, and I'm so happy about it. And also the I Made a Battle Royale map video, that video blew up. It has over 100,000 views, and it equates for nearly half of all snapshots related video views on YouTube, so that is absolutely crazy. So thank you guys so much for the support.